at the Water Equipment Show today up in Telford. Looking forward to meeting lots of water companies and main contractors and project engineers looking at building new and upgrading existing pumping stations. We made quite an effort this year to actually bring a working screen. A lot of people bring equipment to these shows, there's not many. I've got something as big as this that's actually moving on the stand, so people can actually see the quality of the screen and just the speed it moves at and things. It's nice and quiet, all those sorts of things. Good thing about having on the stand is we can show how the clever parts of the design, which makes a very sort of compact, rigid screen in quite a small footprint, which makes the overall screen quite lightweight. So we can talk about why you need smaller cranes on site to lift these in, and why the supporting civil engineering infrastructure that goes around it is a lot smaller, and how that just reduces project costs in many different aspects. So you can see the screen actually moves. It's about 12 centimetres a second sort of linear speed. Screens like this don't need to move quickly. You're not trying to shift loads of debris. It's just a matter of moving quickly enough to move sort of any leaves and things that are naturally in the watercourse and twigs and other rubbish that might be in the river. They sort of come onto the face of the screen. These flights are basically there just to provide a bit more grip onto the face of the screen, just to hold twigs and stringy debris and things. Then that gets pulled to the top of the screen. And then usually about 95% of the debris will fall off the screen as it turns around, goes around the roller at the top, and it falls into a debris trough. And then there's a spray boom as well, so any debris that's stuck onto the back of the screen will just get blown off by a spray boom that has just water in it at about 3 bar pressure. This doesn't actually run constantly. It usually has the pressure sensors upstream and downstream, so it will detect a pressure loss across the screen as it starts to accumulate debris, and that triggers the cleaning cycle, which starts it up, and then it usually runs for a few minutes. Then it'll shut down again until it detects debris accumulation again. And the bar spacing itself, this screen we're looking at has got 2mm bar spacing. So this is sort of compliant with the most stringent part of the eel regulations, which by definition means no fish could get through it either. You can have slightly wider bar spacings. We can actually do them up to 20mm bar spacings, but we normally say 6mm bar spacings, about the maximum we'd recommend, because as it gets wider you start to get twigs and things can go through the mesh, then they just get stuck inside and then they just rumble around inside the screen until they get broken up and then wash through. So you may as well just have a fine screen anyway, because it's so good at self-cleaning. And you can see it's all stainless steel as well, even the mesh belt. These sections here are individual panels, so if you were to get a big tree hit it or something and cause some local damage, you can just replace that damaged section. So it's quite modular, easy to fix as well. Normally they don't get that damaged because they are very tough. Then the rest of it in terms of maintenance, it's all very low maintenance. These bearings at the bottom, these are actually plastic bearings, plastic self-lubricating plain bearings, so that there's no automatic grease feed lubrication needed for these, top or bottom. It has plastic bearings top and bottom. They last almost indefinitely. We've never replaced any yet. The oldest screens have been working for 8 years now. And at the top end, this one's got an electric drive system, so it's an electric motor and gearbox. We can also do it with a much more compact hydraulic drive system as well, which is fully submersible, so if you get very high floodwater levels where the screen gets completely submerged, with a hydraulic drive system that's absolutely fine. Once the water levels come down again, you just check it over and maybe wash the screen off just to get any accumulated debris off it, then just press start again and it starts up again. So and as you can see, it's a very quiet screen, very low power requirements. There's nothing on this screen that will corrode. It's all very low maintenance. A great all-round product, really.
So I'm Jason Withington. I'm the project manager or project engineer for GoFlow Screens. Inquiries would come usually to me, email or phone call, and would discuss sort of briefly their application. I would get an inquiry, talk through the basics of what the customer is after, also what sort of regulations they need to sort of work with, or meet, I should say. And then I would draw up a simple design, depending again on how much information they actually provide. It might be a very budget inquiry. If they have more information available, then do a much more comprehensive sort of quote for them, which would include perhaps a simple design to give the client a more greater understanding on how it could fit in their application. And when we actually get the screen parts into our workshop, I'll be involved in making them and test running the equipment, the screen, before going to site. and then through when the actual screens are installed and working, I often go to site to actually do the maintenance or repairs or troubleshooting.
Hello, my name's Will. I work in the sales and commercial side for GoFlow. Basically, my role is to follow up any kind of leads which come in, and then obviously react accordingly, and then liaise with any potential customers and inquiries that we have to see how we can help, basically. Because ultimately, I know it's a cliche, but people deal with people. They don't deal with companies. So it's important that we build a relationship and trust with all the inquiries that we get. Anyway, be happy to help with anything we can do.